China says Japan is still being evasive. That was the foreign ministry's reaction to Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe's statement marking the 70th anniversary of the end of World War II. Abe reiterated past government apologies, but stopped short of adding a new apology of his own. CCTV's Terrence Terashima joins us now from Tokyo with details. And Terrence, let's start with the reaction there in Japan.
Yes, Mike. Obviously, the reaction here is pretty much mixed. Some said that Abe has clearly made the point that he is inheriting the past administration stance of apology. But the opposition criticized that Abe did use the 4 keywords that was stated in so-called Murayama statement: aggression, remorse, apology, etc. But Abe never expressed remorse or apology in his own words. And in fact, former Prime Minister Tomichi Murayama himself said that he did not understand what message Abe was trying to send. But some experts say this is actually a step further than expected, as Abe used words a little bit stronger in nuance from remorse to repentance, but remained firm on one hand on his current stance. Public had a sort of media fatigue on the statement, but said that it was pretty much a grey. Here's a summary of what Abe's statement and the public reactions from Japan on Saturday.
This was the moment most foreign and Japanese media had been waiting for, the content of Prime Minister Shinzo Abe's statement for the 70th anniversary of the end of World War II. Experts here say there had never been a statement that has been speculated and debated so much before its release in the past. Interest was whether Abe would include a word of apology for the Japanese Army's actions during the war, inheriting so-called the Murayama statement.
Upon innocent people, our country inflicted immeasurable damage and suffering. History is harsh. What is done cannot be undone.
The wording of the statement was debated among the ruling coalitions whether to use the Murayama statement or broaden the content from the past prime ministers. Some lawmakers say it is important for Japan to show its pacifist stance this very year, as Abe administration's security policy is fueling worries amongst the neighboring countries and Japanese public. More importantly, the diplomatic relations between Japan and neighboring China and South Korea have been worse since normalization of the diplomacy. The Prime Minister's statement is getting more attention than it has been in the past.
How much emotional struggle must have existed, and what great efforts must have been necessary for the Chinese people who underwent all the suffering of the war, and for the former POWs who experienced unbearable suffering caused by the Japanese military, in order for them to be so tolerant nevertheless.
Public opinions are split and worry that too much emphasis is put on the wording than the action.
I don't know why people make a big deal of the 70th anniversary statement. The important thing is to have correct historical understanding.
I think Japanese should have our own opinion on these matters, on Yasukuni and other historical issues, regardless of what US and other countries say or want us to say. Without our own opinion, it will mean nothing.
The public understanding of this statement is that it was somewhat over a label in a box, and most public say that it is important to continue with the dialogue with the neighboring countries in order to have the real content of discussions and understanding between the governments. And in fact, from this statement, Abe is trying to satisfy the diplomatic aspect as well as the domestic nationalistic voters. So it was pretty much great, but public still waiting for what Abe will progress from this statement onwards.
All right, Terrence, thanks so much for that live report from Tokyo.